Welcome to UA Live. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Jack. Coming up on the show, we look at the Upper Arlington Gymnastics team, students behind the Nutcracker, and the local restaurant Cafe Davinci.
Academic week at the high school is from February 3rd until the 7th.
During this time, students learn about the options and recommendations for classes next year, get the chance to meet with their counselors.
The scheduling window is open on PowerSchool from February 7th until February 17th.
The annual UA Expo is on Saturday, February 8th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Tremont Library.
During the event, nonprofit organizations will talk about their missions and volunteer needs. This free event is open to the public and offers students a way to find future service hours.
The latest upgrades to the Lane Row Library are completed. The project addressed the needs of the library and brought it up to date, with updates to the front desk and the addition of a staff workspace. This project was funded by the library's general fund, individuals and friends of the library, and the library's capital budget.
The new Upper Arlington High School building is on schedule and on budget. Plumbers and electricians are working on the utilities, while the contractors continue to lay the steel for the gym and the auditorium.
Maria Monesi and Ellie Hartram toured the construction site in January.
Progress has been made on the new high school despite obstacles like wind, rain, and mud.
Well, welcome back to the high school construction site. We're standing right by the front entrance here, and we've made a lot of progress since we've last visited the site. On the academic wing, the first, the second, and the third floor is about 60% done with the concrete floors all being poured, and Rosilli continues to pour concrete floors throughout the rest of the academic wing. You're seeing a lot of steel has been put in place. The auditorium is starting to take shape and making a lot of progress on the underground plumbing throughout the whole building. And so lots of progress here since we've last visited the site, and really excited about the high school coming together.
This has been Maria Monesi and Ellie Hartram reporting for the WARL.
This year's mild winter has allowed crews to work and stay on schedule for the school's opening date in the fall of 2021.
The construction of the new high school has forced more students to park off campus.
Claudia DiCaprio reports on the parking situation at Upper Arlington High School.
Parking around the high school has been a big issue for many students. We hear from Officer Rice on this issue.
The biggest issue with parking is not enough parking. We watched the numbers go down and down and down, and then, like as progress, kept going, we kept losing more and more. We're not going to lose any more. We got one more school year left, so everything's probably going to stay the same. So currently available, it's pretty much what you see is what you get. We have parking, various parking spots all around the school. It's just really gotten small, especially the senior lot. We lost a lot of spots over there. Now they did open up parking on Mount Holyoke, but then somehow it caught wind on the other side that they could park on Brandon, and we just had a big problem. And I don't know what happened, but one day there was one car there, and the next day there was 25 cars parked on the west side of Brandon. I was going to put warnings on, but I noticed we didn't have any warnings for that specific violation because it was just painted on the ground. Well, when I did some more research, I found out we can't enforce no parking that's just painted on the ground. We have to have actually erected signs. And with the parking, we got the green tickets. These are like the monsters is what I call them. They're like super hard to get off, so you do not want one of these on your car. But again, it is a warning, but it does go into a database. And so this year we're doing 2 of these. You can get 2 warnings before you actually get a ticket. So hopefully if you get one of these, then you'll be like, okay, I'm not going to park there.
This has been Claudia DiCaprio reporting for the WARL.
Because of these parking problems, students are finding creative ways to find parking by parking on surrounding streets including Ridgeview, Brandon, Wellsford, and Andover. Now to Mia and Colin with sports.
Welcome to sports. The Swimming and Diving Bears brought home 2 OCC titles after their meet on January 25th. For girls, Julia Fidanza set a pool record in diving at the swim meet. The Swim Bears got 2nd at the Upper Arlington Invitational. They have district sectionals February 8th at Upper Arlington.
Upper Arlington head football coach Jeremy Scally announced on January 24th that he is leaving UA after 1 season with the Bears to take the head coaching job at Hilliard Davidson High School. During his only season at UA, Scally led the Golden Bears to a 6-4 season and a 3-way tie in the Ohio Capital Conference's Central Division.
The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl by a score of 20-31. Patrick Mahomes took home the MVP. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes got their first Super Bowl victory, along with 2 Ohio State players, Darren Lee and Mike Weber. The Chiefs got their first Super Bowl win in 50 years.
The Crew Bears are preparing for spring, and Midwest Erg Sprints is on February 22nd at the Ohio State RPAC. The first race starts at 8 a.m. and the last event ends at 2:30. The races for rowers are 2,000 meters long and 1,000 meters for coxswains. Admissions are $15 for non-rowers.
Boys basketball beat Westland on Friday, January 31st, 53-43. They lost at Westerville South 40-49, making their record 11-7, and play Marysville on Friday. Girls basketball crushed Westland 63-23. They lost to Westerville South 29-72 on Tuesday, February 4th. The Lady Bears have senior night Friday, February 7th at UAHS. They celebrate their 5 seniors and play Marysville.
The UA Ice Bears are still undefeated with an overall record of 30-0-1. Their senior night was Friday, January 31st against St. Charles. The score was 3-3. They also play against Olentangy Liberty on February 9th.
Here's a look back at the Bears' amazing start to the season. The Golden Bear hockey team is off to an historic 9-0 start to the season, with their eyes set on a state championship.
When the Golden Bears step skate on the ice, the expectation is to win. And the Bears have. They already claimed 1 championship at the Chiller Thanksgiving Classic, and the Bears went 3-0 in their games this past weekend. They have a prolific scoring offense along with an impenetrable defense and penalty kill that's hard to crack. The Ice Bears are led by senior captains Will Lawless, Duncan McDonald, and Tim Kramer, along with junior captain Will Cohen.
Junior goalie Garrett Alderman has already set the single-season shutout record with 6 in the first 9 games of the Golden Bears season.
Alderman has been on varsity all 3 years of his high school career to this point, and he's looking to make his biggest impact this year.
To get some perspective on the Bears' historic start, I talked to alternate captain Will Cohen.
I think we've bought into the system a lot more than we have in years past. I believe we became more of a real team, came together. We also have a lot more new skill than we have in years past, and just a lot of hard work that we've been putting in these last couple of weeks. Well, I guess we like to think we can make it to states, as we haven't in the last 10, 15 years. It would be a pretty big step for our program. But yeah, I guess the goal is make it to nationwide, make it to the Final Four. I mean, even maybe win a state championship would be the end goal.
The Golden Bears face their biggest test of the year with Olentangy Liberty this Sunday at 4 p.m. If you ever get the chance to go to a Golden Bear hockey game, you can expect a lot of hits and goals. This has been Colin Moore reporting for the WARL.
The hockey team looks to go into their final 2 tournaments undefeated and make it to the OSA State Tournament Final Four on March 14th and 15th at Nationwide Arena. The strengths of the Golden Bears ice hockey program runs deep. Jack Norris and Rafe McClure report on Kyle Baugh, a female member of the JV ice hockey team.
Although the UA boys hockey team seems like any other hockey team, there's something unknown and unique about it. For the first time ever, there is a girl on the boys hockey team, and her name is Kyle Baugh. We talked to Kyle to gain insight on her experiences playing boys hockey throughout the past few years.
It's interesting. I mean, there's like a lot of pros and there's some cons. It's fun. It's unique. I don't really think about it anymore though. Like, I'm just used to it. I've played like with guys all my life, so it's not something I notice anymore. But it's something like a lot of other people notice and think it's like cool and unique.
Kyle shares her thoughts on being the only girl on the team.
I don't really think about it as being the only girl. Like, when I first started playing, I like noticed I was the only girl, but then eventually it just became normal to me and everyone else.
We talked to teammate Rory Brennan to hear his opinion on having a girl on the team.
I think there's been a big change from the beginning last year to this year. I think she's felt a lot more comfortable with us. You know, I think it took her a year to get comfortable. Now I think that she's really starting to feel like she's one of us, and that's a good thing.
Although Kyle outlined some pros of being on the team, there are also some cons.
I don't know, it's kind of hard having a different locker room now. Like, when I was younger, I used to just go in there with them. but now that I don't, it's like hard for time circumstances. Like another con would be like obviously at the ice house I have my own locker room, but like they don't know, but when I go to some other ice rinks I have to like get dressed in the girls' bathroom. They don't have a locker room for me.
Rory explains some adaptations he and the team have to make for Kyle.
Like we have to get ready a couple minutes before practice so that she can come into the locker room and so that the coaches can talk to us, and that's for games too. So that's one of the adaptations that we have to make.
Some other cons are on the ice as well.
In recent years though, it's been fine. When I play other teams, they don't really chirp me or anything, and I don't feel like they ever target me. Like I've never gotten a concussion or anything from playing guys hockey, so they haven't targeted me, that means. Sometimes in front of the net, they'll like push me harder and like say stuff to me, but not a lot, and it's not usually like a bad, but they definitely notice I'm a girl. Yeah, some of the guys definitely are nice about it and definitely beat some of the other kids that are mean to me up.
Rory explains how Kyle is treated differently on the ice.
I wouldn't say bullied around, but yeah, I mean, it's just part of the game, you know, I do it for anyone.
Kyle is looking to continue her success from last year when she played very well and had a hat trick against Worthington Kilbourne. She wants to improve her skills and have more success this year. The hockey team practices on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays and lifts on Thursdays. They also play games on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Kyle's new line mates are Colton Pater and Rory Brennan. Kyle has started this year strong with at least one goal in almost every game. This is Rafe McClure and Jack Norris reporting for the WARL.
Since then, the JV team has finished strong with a winning record heading into their final league opponent, the Olentangy Braves. The UA Wrestling Bears face off against Westland at home February 13th as they enter the end of their season. The Golden Grapplers have the opportunity to compete in the OHSA State Team Finals February 16th against the opponent yet to be determined.
On Wednesday, January 29th, the gymnastics team placed fourth at Marysville Invitational against Bradley, Davidson, and Darby. The girls had their senior night on Saturday, January 25th at UGI, starting with the ceremony and then competition. The team celebrated their 5 seniors for their last home meet. Here's a look on the competition.
The Upper Arlington gymnastics team has had a great season so far. Their senior night was Saturday, January 25th at Universal Gymnastics. Kate Mason, junior UAHS student, was there selling t-shirts and bracelets for her new Als Awareness Club. We now hear from Kate.
So I started the ALS Awareness Club because my grandfather was diagnosed last year with ALS, and so that's when I first really learned about this disease. And I just started the club because I really wanted to make people aware of it, and I wanted to fundraise and donate and do everything we can to help find a cure. So we meet on Friday mornings at 7:40 in Mr. Stern's chemistry room. The really cool thing about our club is that it's really laid back and flexible. So if you're able to come to a meeting and if you're able to come to an event, that's great. But if you can't come, it's no big deal and you can still be a part of the club. And we just plan fundraising events and then we do them. So our first fundraising event is at the gymnastics senior night. So, and we're planning on doing many more in the future.
Every girl on the team got to compete in at least one of the 4 high school events: bars, floor, vault, and beam. They have all perfected their routines and are preparing for the OCC Championship on February 12th at 6 p.m. at Marysville. They hope to place first and continue on with their season. This has been Mia Marshall reporting for the WARL.
The girls' gymnastics team hopes to flip their way to finals and continue on with their season.
Now to Luca and Rafe with community news.
Hi, I'm Luca.
And I'm Rafe. The Columbus and Franklin County Metro Parks are building a new mountain bike trail around Columbus, Ohio. They're spending over $400,000 to build the mountain bike trails and observation decks at the park. There will be 5 trails, each are going to be 3/4 of a mile to a mile long. Each trail will vary in difficulty and hold different jumps, ramps, and obstacles. The Metro Parks will be ready for participants in the spring of 2021.
In case you needed some motivation to get outside, we spoke to one health nut who won't let anything stop her from getting in as much fitness as she can each day.
In old age, many people choose to turn down the intensity when it comes to physical activity. Mary Pat, on the other hand, won't let anything stop her from keeping active and staying healthy.
MP, tell us a little bit more about your daily schedule.
My daily schedule. We're up early. We usually get up between 6 and 7. Most mornings I teach, so I have to get up early. And I either go and practice yoga right away, or I am teaching yoga. After my class, or after I have a private client, then I would do my own practice, which usually is about an hour to an hour and a half. Probably the thing I'll do next is take a long walk. I try to do between 4 and 6 miles every day.
MP lives in Cleveland, Ohio. She teaches yoga several times a week.
Tell me, why do you think it's so important that we take care of our physical and mental health?
Well, I think it's the most important thing one can do. First of all, if you don't take care of yourself, how can you possibly ever take care of somebody else? It's kind of this fallacy. But beyond that, I feel like the physical body is like the outside structure of a home. You know, and a home can look beautiful from the outside, but if you open the door and it's just a hot mess when you walk in, there's stuff everywhere. That's what happens to the inside of the body when it's polluted with bad food or poor choices. And the mind doesn't function properly either. The mind is an amazing gift. And I think that we're given this body in this physical form to be the very best that we possibly can be in this world. And so I've always been really active. You know, I ran marathons, and I've always been, I've kind of always been a workout person.
And lastly, what hobbies outside of personal health keep you busy?
I'm a big reader. I love to read. I'm at the library a lot. I participate in my church choir. I also go and study with my yoga teachers a lot, so I'm off at workshops and I'm always learning from other people. And that's one thing I want to say. I think that the learning should never stop, that we're always meant to be here to be inquiring and curious and not be too certain of anything. And so it's kind of my quest to stay really open to new information, and I really like being really wrong. So, you know, it's like every time I think I've got an answer or two about how to be, I'm going to get challenged for sure. That's pretty much, I don't know what else I do. I think I'm pretty busy.
I ended my visit by doing some yoga with MP. It was quite relaxing. This has been Luca Noguera reporting for the WARL.
A little closer to home, some Columbus citizens are worried about how technology is impacting their environment.
5G towers will be going up around historic places in Grandview, following suit with the rest of the city's modern renovation. Many residents, however, are upset about the destruction of historic land, as well as potential dangers that come along with the installation of this many cell towers. Set to start later this year, 666 plots have already been chosen for the 2020 project by Verizon.
Now we look at Cafe Davinci, a unique restaurant right here in UA.
Cafe Davinci is a homemade Italian restaurant that has been in Upper Arlington for many years now. Davinci's is a great place to grab lunch, dinner, or even a sweet treat with their homemade gelato station.
We chose this particular location because it's going to be the center of it all, and it's close to the high school, and I love the kids. Since we've been open, I have had the pleasure of meeting so many athletes from the high school and from the middle schools too, but mainly the high school. And it's so fun when they would come together for lunch, for if they had a game that night, they would all meet here for lunch, and it was just a lot of fun to meet all those kids.
The Upper Arlington girls basketball team goes to Davinci's every game day for team lunch. I talked with seniors Valerie Feller and Alex Chris about this tradition.
Going into the program, we started as a freshman, and it was just kind of what we did every team lunch, and it's just like a really welcoming place where we carb a load before games, and it's like every game day, bread, pasta, super fun.
So since we've been going there for 4 years, we got to know all the staff really well, and so they're super welcoming now. They give us free gelato and always make sure there's a ton of bread when we get there.
Cafe Davinci is such a big part of the communities because they are located in the heart of UA and they're right by the high school. And Cafe Davinci does a ton of banquet catering for all the sports teams at the high school. This has been Audrey Spielman reporting for the WARL.
Cafe Davinci is located in the Kingsdale Shopping Center and is open 7 days a week.
The City of Dublin is asking the public to help name their new pedestrian bridge that is set to open March 13th. The bridge will link the east and west sides of the Scioto River and connect Dublin's historic district with the future Riverside Crossing Park. Some of the names so far that have been suggested are Dublin Bridge, Dublin Connector Bridge, and the Emerald City Bridge. The city is taking name submissions until January 31st. Submit a name by going to dublinohiousa.gov/dub the bridge.
On January 21st, the Community Development Department in Dublin received a final development plan from Ohio State Bank for a mixed-use building with a secondary tenant space. The bank will be built on the northeast corner of Lane Avenue in Northwest. For more information, go to upperarlington.gov to get dates and information on the construction of the bank. The UA Vocal Music Department is working on this year's musical Cinderella. Auditions were in November and rehearsals start in early December. The cast rehearses daily and builds the sets for the show.
The show is February 20th through the 23rd, and tickets are available online at uavocalmusic.org. Tickets in the balcony are from $10 to $16, and tickets in the mezzanine are from $12 to $16. New this year, families can eat breakfast with the cast of the show on February 22nd from 10:30 to 11:30 at the UAHS cafeteria. Tickets are $20 for a parent and child combo and $5 for each additional child.
Nora looks back on the holiday season with an inside look on the Nutcracker.
Ballet Met's The Nutcracker has been a holiday tradition for families all across Ohio for over 40 years now. Hundreds of Academy students go to audition every year to be in one of the most viewed performances of the season. Ballet Met's The Nutcracker is performed here at the Ohio Theater in downtown Columbus. It houses over 3,000 seats and they're filled every year. Believe it or not, you can find the dancers in this show in our very own high school. The ages of the performers range from 8 to about 30 years old. I spoke to a couple dancers that attend school here to understand what this performance means to them. So I'm here with
Olivia Orlandini
and
Elena Sayat.
And they are both in the Nutcracker. So how many years have you guys been a part of the Nutcracker?
I've been in Nutcracker for 4 years now.
This is my 6th year in the Nutcracker.
What's your favorite part about performing in the Nutcracker?
I just like being in front of people on a stage and like getting to work with the professional dancers is really fun.
I just like getting to dance alongside such talented people, and also having a live orchestra is really cool.
What's your guys' like favorite memory from the Nutcracker?
Just being backstage with people is a lot of fun, and just all the little behind the scene moments.
My favorite memory is probably the first show I performed as Clara when I was in 6th grade.
All right, well, thank you guys. You guys can come see them perform in the Nutcracker. The performances run all the way through December 25th, so past Christmas. The Nutcracker has brought countless memories that these students will continue to cherish for the rest of their lives. It's known as one of the most timeless performances of the season, and it can bring anyone into the Christmas spirit. If you want to start a new holiday tradition for you and your family, come down and see the Nutcracker. We promise you won't regret it. This has been Nora Dimitrov reporting from the WARL.
Now to Sophie with Lifestyle.
Hi, I'm Sophie, and welcome to Lifestyle. White Castle will be having their 29th annual Valentine's Day dinner February 14th and will offer tableside service from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Reservations are now being accepted on opentable.com. Be sure to check it out. Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift are both releasing documentaries at the end of January. Swift's will be released on January 31st on Netflix. She will talk about her struggles in the past few years along with her latest album. Bieber's will be released on January 27th at 12 p.m. on YouTube. It will offer a look into his past few years in life. He also has a concert coming up in August at Ohio Stadium. But before we think about making summer plans, we can't forget about the rest of the cold winter months to come. With the recent cold weather and snow flurries, students are always hoping for a snow day. Cam Koffel took a closer look at what teachers and students have to say about those snowy days off school.
As you can anticipate,
Parents always dread that day off and taking care of their children, while the children always love throwing ice cubes in the toilet or even shaking up snow globes. It's a tradition. Why? Because they always want that snow day. In this segment, I take an inside look at the prestigious snow day and the thoughts and opinions on that. With bad conditions being the reason school gets canceled, I went to Senior Nazca to ask him how he predicts his snow days on Twitter.
So you can follow me at my Twitter feed at Senior Nazca, and my Twitter feed is for my homework assignments, but I also do my snow day predictions. And I try to do a prediction about the night before, and my record is, my all-time record is 11-5. So I started doing my Twitter predictions for school here probably about 3 years ago officially, when I first got a Twitter account. But I developed the algorithm in I think about 10th grade. I came up with various criteria that I fit, and then it comes out with a result. But it took me about 6 months to finalize, and so I go based off that. So the main, I think from this is my 15th year here teaching at Upper Arlington. I think the general opinions of teachers is snow days are good, but it does take away from our instructional time. But like my grandma used to tell me, if you don't have any free time, what's life about?
Of course, for some high school students, the commute in the morning when we don't have a snow day can get very tough. I talked to a few UA high school students on their snowy commute to school.
Well, I would say that usually I leave about 10 minutes earlier, and I also have an automatic car starter, so I usually just press that so my car's nice and toasty when I get inside.
I would say typically it involves just leaving a little bit earlier, and I just have to go a little earlier to scrape off my car and go warm it up so it's ready.
This is a day off of school, nothing less, whether it's for students to enjoy themselves inside or outside. Hey, and maybe adults can get the day off of work. This has been Cameron Koffel reporting for the WARL.
Thanks, Cam. Can't wait for that snowy day off. Now back to Maine with Jack and Natalie.
Let's hope we can get one of those snow days now before it turns to spring.
That's it for this edition of UA Live. Thanks for tuning in.
I